Greetings and welcome back, gentles and ladiesmen, to episode FUBAR of Let's Play Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. I'm ExoParadigmGamer, and I can't believe I've forgotten the episode number already. Well, I guess we're going to be ditching that tradition, because there were some comments from people saying, like, do you have to do this every time? And I don't know, do I? It's entirely up to you guys. But, so we're going to kick things off, first of all, by doing some backtracking, actually, because there's some things that we can do now that we couldn't do earlier. One thing I'd like to be fully upfront about is that in between sessions, I paid a little trip to my ship at Rind, and I actually opened a gate here. But I think that's the only one there, but essentially what that gate does is... It has a violet hologram on it, so you can't enter it until you've gone to the Agon Wastes, and it was... Because I was being a dickhead, I opened it, because, like, I was trying to figure out, like, how can I handle all this backtracking as efficiently as possible, so I did something like a mini test playthrough, and while I did that, you know, like, I went to my ship and was just like, okay, I'll refill my dark and light ammo real quick, and then I accidentally saved the game after I opened the violet gate, and I was just like, shit. But, you know, it's not like I got a bunch of power-ups off screen or pickups that are important, so you guys really didn't miss much. I opened one gate. I'm sorry. But anyway, that Dark Missile Trooper right there is supposed to be something of a mini-boss, but he's pathetically easy. If you die on him, you are the worst Metroid player of all time. Oh, by the way, these little things right here are actually separate from the regular splinters. I totally missed them when I went through here the first time. The worker splinter is bred for service, not combat. It spends its time collecting foodstuffs and raw material for the hive. A layer of mucus helps to protect the creature from the toxins and chemicals it often works with. They can generate a sturdy, pliable webbing, useful in travel throughout the hive. So it's not like they die in one hit. You thought the regular splinters were pathetic? You've seen nothing. So, as I mentioned before in my last trip through here, there's actually a bunch of Federation lore that you can look at. I didn't look at it the first time we went through here because, you know, like, I was trying to get the playthrough started and I didn't want to bog down at first section of the game for too long. But, let's read it. There's something wrong with the lock systems in this section. They failed twice, locking us out until someone came along to let us in. If it happens again while we're playing bait for those things, well, at least we'll go out fighting instead of hiding in the control area. I mean, like, it's honestly a little more interesting to read the lore before you see that little cutscene from Commander Exeter saying, like, oh, we got our asses handed to us by spiders. But I don't like this plan. This hive is a small portion of a larger network. There may be dozens of hive systems like this across the planet, and they may all be linked. Destroying this one may buy us some time, but it may also provoke the other hives into attacking. Oh, hello there. I don't think there's anything in that tunnel. I literally just practiced this, so I should know better. Yeah, no, there isn't anything. And like as I've said numerous times, if an object isn't red, then that means it's not lore. So, like, if you're concerned, like, oh, those Federation troopers hanging from the ceiling must have something useful, if they don't show up as red in your scan visor, then they can't be. And again, that's something I feel like they really improved over Prime 1 was, you know, like, the only thing that they did have, like, a difference between orange and red scan module things. By the way, we could get this earlier because we didn't have the bombs, but now we do, so let's just... If I can fucking roll in there. Why is there a little ramp on it? Who asked for the ramp? But yeah, missiles, very useful in this game, so get as many of them as quickly as you can, if you can help it. Now, yeah, I always thought it was kind of annoying that you couldn't really tell which was which, because, you know, the red and the orange kind of look the same, but in this game they have a much better color contrast, so you can tell the difference rather easily. Okay, so we're gonna go up here. That's pretty much all the lore that's down there, I think, for the time being. There's a bunch of lore by the Galactic Federation ship, but we actually can't reach it anymore because if you remember, we went through this shutter gate, and the shutter gate was like opening part way, and then, you know, we had to morph ball our way through there. Well, now if we go back there, we will find that that gate is closed forever and we can't open it again, and we will have to destroy it somehow to actually be able to access the ship again. So, and that actually won't be happening, I don't think, until we get to like the last temple area besides the temple grounds. So here's another guy, of course. I think Haley's losing it. He talks to himself all the time and he won't sleep. He almost shot me on watch the other night. I think he thought I was one of those things. I talked to the doc about taking him off the line, and he told me we needed all the help we could get. That's true, but if he goes berserk and kills a bunch of us, that won't be very helpful. Indeed. Gotta weigh those interests, so to speak. Stupid Krayley. So, now that we have the light and dark beam, we can actually find that there are rift portals lying around the temple grounds as well. Yeah, they're not just in the little sub-temple areas. There is a missile expansion in this room. Actually, two of them, technically, quote-unquote. But I'm not sure if I want to get one. I'll get it now. It's real cool. It's really fast. I can get it in no time. It's not like I'm speed running this or anything. I do want to make an efficient playthrough, of course, but you know, like if I really wanted to make a speed run, quote unquote, and do this, like there are a bunch of regulations you have to follow from like the Speedrunner Demos Archive or something like that, Speedrunner's Archive, and it has to be single segment, like one video. You can't pause for too long. I don't know. So like if I can make things a little easier for myself by taking a little longer in certain parts, I'm gonna do it. Now I realized while editing one of the previous parts that one thing I should make clear is that if you're looking for dead Luminoth for the lore that they have, you want to look for them in light ether, not dark ether. The point of those particular dead Luminoth is that they actually signal where something is in the dark world, but you know, like I guess I mixed it up in one of the previous parts. Yeah. And this is actually one of the few cases where a rift portal has like a light equivalent right where the dark one was. Usually that's... Well, actually, the Agon Wastes might be the only place that does that, because I can't think of any others off the top of my head that do that. So we're going to actually sidetrack ourselves in this direction real quick. There are a few more pickups we can get. There's actually something down there, but again, we can't go through these blast shutters until we find a way to destroy them, and that won't be until farther into the game, so do with that as you will. You know, war wasps are kind of annoying. I mean, like, I don't know if it's just me, but these games are really easy. I had some trouble with them the first time I played, because Metroid Prime 3 was probably the first-person shooter, quote-unquote, I ever played. So when I was first exposed to this gameplay style, and out of all the Metroid Prime games, Prime 3 is probably the most shooting-intensive, because it's trying to appeal to a more casual audience, you know? And I mean, like, that was really the only difficulty, was just trying to learn the control scheme, but with... like now that I do know, like even on hyper mode, these games are pretty straightforward. So here we have another dead Luminoth. It is inside me. I feel it spreading, clawing at my will, tearing at my thoughts. It moves me against my will to this cavern. Here it will end. I do not wish this. Do not want my body to become a weapon for the Ying within me. It hates. It demands obedience. I will fight to the end. I shall self-terminate before I will be the pawn of a filthy Ying. Damn. I mean, I haven't really talked too much about the story beyond, but I mean, like, I can see why for some people... Actually, before I get into that, there's another dead trooper down here. We'll be making our stand here. The engineer tells me there's no way we'll get the ship's engines online, and atmospheric interference is scrambling our distress beacon. If anybody reads this, know that we did our duty and fought well. Okay, and I don't think I can go do anything any farther than this, because that's where we're going to be finding the locked door. Actually, there is something in this room. There's another dead trooper right next to the switch, and I'm sure that a bunch of you who know this game front to back are like, why the hell didn't you scan that? This is ridiculous. I cannot shoot half the men here, and I'm stuck on monitor duty. I didn't join up to stare at a holoscreen. This wouldn't happen to Samus Aran. She'd be out there taking care of business, not pushing buttons and sending reports. And it kind of makes you wonder in the meta sense what everybody thinks of Samus, because like you don't really see that besides Other M, and yeah. So I think that's all the lore we can read for the time being. I mean, like, we got through it pretty quickly, but if we were trying to do that on top of just getting through that beginning area, you know, it would have been, you know, it would have made things drag a little, and I didn't want to do that. I've kind of like shot myself in the foot by doing what I did, because now, in order to access some of what we need, you know, in order to access some of the troopers, we need a bunch of advanced power-ups that you don't get until later in the game. I can't even get back to the Federation ship until after I've started Sanctuary Fortress, the third area offshooting from the Great Temple Grounds. Now, before we end things, I think we might as well pay a trip to U-Mos, do something productive in this part. Booyah. Now, actually, have I scanned these things yet? Yes, I have. I noticed I had forgotten at one point. There is actually something in this room. As you can see, there is a morph ball track built into the wall. This could be easy to miss. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I missed it on my first playthrough, but pretty simple. Just roll on up and booyah, you get it. Pretty easy. Now, from what I understand, I believe the game sort of funnels you in through the great... Oops, I went through the wrong door. And that's my own damn fault, because there's a fucking minimap in the top right corner of the screen. How did that respawn? I'm pretty sure I killed that. Alright, whatever. The game sort of funnels you in through the Great Temple Grounds, and I believe that if you try to leave this room through the other door... I think I have the green one. No, I have the amber one. That's the one you get from... Yes, Pathway to Torvus. That's the next way forward. I believe U-Mos blocks you out. Yeah, see? He forces you to talk to him. Telekinetic barrier, mental signature similar to the Luminoth. So yeah, U-Mos just loves to ramble, doesn't he? I'm pretty sure most players could figure out, okay, I got the Agon temple, I probably got to go to the next area and get the temple there, but, you know. So we'll have a quick chat with the U-Mos, and then we'll probably just wrap up, and then we'll head off to the Torvus Bog in the following part. I don't know, who knows, maybe he'll have something interesting to say, and I'm just full of shite. Can't get enough of this track. I thank you for restoring energy to the Temple of Agon. Your valor honors the Luminoth, those who have passed and those who remain, here, under my protection as they sleep in deep stasis. Be on guard, for the Ing do not suffer defeat lightly. They will surely seek revenge for your actions. With the energy lost from the desert region, they will increase their efforts in other lands. I have detected unusual amounts of Ing activity in the Torvus sector. The enemy is on the move. The swamplands of Torvus are treacherous and can hinder you considerably. Bear this in mind as you move through the bog. Seek the Temple of Torvus. More knowledge awaits you there. May the light of ether serve you well. Alright. Yeah, I didn't show this one off. If you try to shoot him, he like creates a shield that like bounces your shots. Wonder what happens if you use the dark beam. Nothing. It kind of makes you wonder if the Luminoth are capable of creating like light shields that protects them against anything. Why didn't they fucking use that against the ink, you know? But at any rate, I will see you guys next time, and we will head off to the Torvus Bog. So, see you guys then.